So this weekend I went to a workshop / seminar on cued speech, and I've never really heard anything about cued speech before, so it was very interesting to say the least. First of all, cued speech is a system that makes spoken language visual, and obviously the workshop and seminar was on cued spoken English. So there are 8 hand shapes. They do not follow American Sign Language, so it was a little tricky at first. There are 4 placements. The first is on the side of your lips, then the chin, your throat, and the side of the face. And there is the whole system is based on the phonemic sounds of spoken language. So you use the hand shapes to represent consonants and the placements to represent vowels. Friday night was the workshop. It was a mini cued speech workshop. So in a matter of 4 hours, we learned almost all of the system, but it was a little overwhelming because it was so fast, and the presenter who was teaching it was not as fluent in cued speech as some of the other members that were running the workshop, so it was a little tedious at times because it was hard to follow. Her speech was very slow, almost like a robot. So, because she was trying to keep up with her cueing, and so it was a little monotonous, to say, I guess. Then on Saturday was the seminars. There was an interpreter transliterator track, and then there was a professional track, which was a lot of speech pathologists, audiologists, teachers, that kind of thing. And those lectures were more research-based. I went to the interpreter transliterator track, which was not what I thought. It was more about what a cued speech transliterator does, which was really interesting, but we didn't really practice cued speech. It was more like, this is what the field of cued speech transliterating is, this is how you can become certified, yada yada yada. That was in the morning. Then in the afternoon, we rejoined the professionals, I guess what you can call them, and listened to the remaining 2 lectures. Then at night, which was kind of the highlight, was a panel. The first panel was parents of children who use cued speech, and the second panel was actual deaf young adults and adults who use cued speech. And I think that was my favorite part, because you got to see actual fluent cued speech being used, and you were able to get the perspectives of those who were raised with cued speech and that use cued speech on a daily basis. A lot of those individuals had cochlear implants, so they were very oral. A few of them were also fluent in sign and in cue. One girl in particular was fluent in sign and cue. She also knew Spanish, spoken Spanish, and Hebrew, and she was able to learn those 2 languages through cueing. The research has shown that cued speech helps to improve literacy and phonemic awareness, which is, the sounds of spoken language. So that helps to improve literacy. It was kind of interesting because I've never really learned anything about cute speech. There's not a lot known about cute speech. So it was really cool to see, and it was really interesting. I'm not sure if I'll ever become fluent in cute speech. I couldn't even really remember it all right now because I didn't get that much time to learn it. So now it's on my own to practice it. They say it doesn't take long to learn at all, which is interesting because it just seems so complicated. There were cute speech transliterators at the conference. They're transliterating the entire seminar. And like ASL interpreting, they were up there for about 20 minutes and we're switching back and forth. Transliterators of cute speech are supposed to try to convey emotions and affect as well, which I think is a lot harder to do if you're cueing because it only has to do with the placement of the cues on your face, and it's just mouthing what the person is saying at the same time. So that just seems really hard for me to imagine because I would be so concerned about where the cues were being placed. And then what else? Oh, what I thought was really cool was when there was another person speaking, like an audience member, the transliterator would use their non-dominant hand to cue, which was really cool. So it appears to be that cueing is a system that you can do with both your non-dom and your dominant hand, and that's really interesting because sometimes I find it hard to sign with my non-dominant hand. Then what else? Oh, you can become nationally certified in cute speech transliterating, which is really interesting. There's a national test through this place called the Tech Unit, and then there's also a cute speech EIPA, which just came out recently, which is cool. After the seminar, I had the opportunity to talk to 3 people. I talked to 1 parent and 2 cuers, deaf cuers. The first was a college-age student. She had first learned sign when she was younger. Then her parents stopped signing to her and started cueing to her. And then at the age of 5, she relearned how to sign. She is fluent in both cue and sign, knows Spanish and Hebrew and English. She told me that she prefers to cue in school, and that in social situations or whatever, just everyday communication, she'll sign. It depends on who she's with though. She's currently a student at RIT, and when she went to RIT, they would not give her a cute speech transliterator, which I think is kind of ridiculous, but it also has to do with access, so I kind of understand. There's not that many transliterators out there. Then the other woman I talked to also grew up cueing. She was raised orally, and then her parents found out about cute speech, and then she's used that, but she also signs. And she said she prefers to cue in an educational setting because that way she gets the exact directions, the exact terminology, and that way she doesn't have to rely on an interpretation that may or not be correct. And the last person I talked to was a parent. Her child is 4 years old, and right now they're currently struggling with whether they should use cueing only, ASL only, or a combination of both. So it was cool to get all different kinds of perspectives from both a parent and 2 native cuers.